Hello everyone! Today we're celebrating a new milestone as we've just passed the 100 subscriber mark. Woohoo! Woohoo! And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting the videos. You make all the work that gets put into these feel worthwhile. I got a suggestion from one of my viewers that said I should show off some of my older survival worlds as a way of celebrating the 100 mark. So today, that's what we're gonna do. Sometimes it's good to reflect on where you've come from and draw inspiration from your past self. So without further ado, let's go. All right, here we are. So this is the first of two maps that we're going to be taking a look at here today, and I figure we might as well start right here. So this was a clinic that I had put together for curing zombie villagers. And I tried to mimic kind of the feel of an upscale doctor's office in the lobby here. As you can see, we've got some nice artwork, some lamps, a little receptionist desk, and waiting area here. And if we head into the back, it still has the vibe of a doctor's office, except for this huge cage with a zombie in it here. Now, as you can see, we've got this railing that leads up to the zombie here. And if I pull the lever on the back wall, it pops open, so we were able to wheel in villagers. They stop at this point, keep them in the minecart. We lift the zombie up. He whacks them a couple of times, converts them over, and then pop open this chest here. We've got splash potions of weakness and golden apples, so we could cure them up. Now, obviously, there's more efficient ways of doing this, but I wanted an aesthetic way of implementing the cure cycle into my village here. Also, before we leave, you can see that in this town I have signs that indicate when the buildings were completed. So it looks like this one was finished in January of 2021. I love this little office, and you know, I kind of want to implement something like this on the Warts and All map as well. Next, we'll go check out the library. And I could not for the life of me figure out how to do this roof correctly. As you can see from the side here, it kind of looks like a big-ass Burger King, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I do like how it turned out underneath. I think this is really detailed, kind of interesting looking. But if we head inside, these lights here are set up to daylight sensors that are hidden in the bushes outside. You can see that I left the ceiling open air, and that's a big reason why the roof turned out so strangely, was I wasn't able to taper the roof in that would give it, you know, that classic roof shape. But I do like all the views from the inside here. And, in case it wasn't obvious, this is where I keep all my librarian villagers. I lost my most recent save of the map. I used to have signs up that kind of indicated who was where, but I seem to have lost that, unfortunately. Coming over here, we've got an open-air cafe. Nice place for you to curl up with a book, grab a tea or a coffee. And heading upstairs, you can see we've got some more librarian sections over here, as well as a outdoor seating area where you can get some fresh air while you read. And in order to head up to the next floor, we have to take the secret staircase here. That took a while to figure out how to do properly, but I think that turned out pretty well, and I am just in love with the ceilings up here. Got a nice kind of warm, cozy feeling. And you've got some good views out the window here as well. But if we head over this direction, this is going to be my favorite area of the library. It's a little secluded area here that I could just picture myself curling up with a good book and a tea from the cafe. I'd probably pick that spot right there. And as we can see here, I seem to have finished this one in January of 2021 as well. Now, heading downstairs, got some more librarians here as well. And a
larger deck
than the other side. I was going to build a courtyard down here with custom trees and all that, but I stopped playing on this map when I started playing with my brother. We'll get to that map a little bit later on. The last area I want to show off of this building is downstairs here. Of course, we've got more librarians. Little desks to sit at and some storage underneath the staircase here. Now let's head outside. So out here we have a, well, I guess I would call it like a convenience store, something like that. I'm pretty proud of how the outside turned out. I think we've got a nice level of texturing as well as depth going on with the outside of the building. Although if I were to redo it, I would probably try and integrate some terracotta or something to break up the sandstone color. It's just a little bit one note on color here. Coming over and looking at the corner of the building here, we've got some lights that are just peeking through the wall blocks here. And they are also set up to a daylight sensor, so those kick on at night. I really like how this overhang kind of makes the building feel integrated with the town. And I feel like just, I don't know, this map has a lot of inviting warmth to it with its builds. Over here we have a beautiful flower garden, and I'm a big fan of flowers in real life. I take pictures of them all the time. Coming inside the building here, this is the remaining few librarians that I had left, and in here we do have the signs kind of indicating who is who. This is where I kept my most important ones that I needed access to on a regular basis, so they were kind of in a tighter group, as opposed to having to go all over the library. That being said, at the time, I did have one of every librarian. I like how this feels kind of like a shop you might see in the mall or something of that nature, with little kiosks inside. Of course, again, in this map, I like having things fairly open. I like having access to the sky. And we have these huge windows inside this shop as well, including this huge corner piece here. Coming on out here, and going up into this area, we have a pond with some fountains integrated into it. I really wish there was a half glass pane of sorts. I just feel like whenever you use glass panes to kind of block off an area, it really detracts from the line of sight that you're able to get. You almost have to push up against it or jump on top to get a good view. Now, if we come into this building here, this is my toolsmiths and armorer. And again, I just feel like these buildings have a lot of warmth, warm tones with the oak and the sandstone, large ceilings and open air. Over here, I threw a bunch of armor stands in the windows. They look really good from the outside. We head out into the farmer's market here. Got some guys selling meat and veggies and fish. This area turned out pretty cool as well. But now heading down into probably my favorite building I think that I've ever built. So this was the storage building I had on this map, and it's based kind of on the Roman Pantheon, but it does have some Greek inspiration as well. We come around the side here. You can see I used a lot of kind of Greek columns. We did a large domed building. It's more similar to Roman architecture here, although obviously they wouldn't be using glass. Really love the awe-inspiring feel inside of this building. Up across the top here, I did throw in all the different parrots. Kind of adds a little bit of life to the area. When you walk through here, you hear noises. Of course, I've got my pet cat here in the middle, as well as a hidden bed. And then this is where our utility blocks and kind of backup gear all went. Looking down, I went with a underworld kind of Hades inversion of the upper portion here. I tried to even incorporate the working blocks upside down here. Now, to get this feeling here, I went with the foggy glass effect, although I wasn't too keen on how it worked at the time. So rather than leaving an air gap in between the glass, I ended up just doing about 7 to 8 layers of purple and magenta glass going back. You might be able to see through here that have jack-o'-lanterns on the back side that kind of give a back glow. Every once in a while, the graphics will glitch here, and you can see those jack-o'-lanterns through the fog effect. Coming around to the back of the stairs, we've got a Cerberus reference, and it looks like we finished this building back in January of 2021 as well. Coming out back here, we've got the barn that I put together. And I just want to nip it in the bud. There's this Pagoda over here. This is heavily based on someone else's design. And if you're curious, I left a link in the description below to the video that I drew inspiration from back when I built it. Now, this barn is definitely my design, in case it's not obvious, you know, with how strange and unprofessional looking it is. I still like how it turned out, though. And heading through the doorway here, we've got a nice, beautiful doggo in the corner. Some shepherds here for trading, and all of the wool being sorted here. Now, I like to have it very visually orientated. It's very satisfying for me to watch things go flying by and get pulled into their rightful spot. I just integrated a hopper line that feeds to these droppers that are then triggered to pop out any item that gets put into them. They all converge into this one water stream. There's one behind the wall here as well. In the center of the room, I have some backup sheep in case anything went wrong up above. And over in the corner here, I have most of the Minecraft cats. I love collecting the animals whenever I play Minecraft. Didn't quite get all of them on this map, but we got pretty close. Heading on upstairs, we can see I've got about 3 of every colored sheep here. And then walking through this portion here, this is kind of the maintenance area. And heading up, we've got some bulk storage up here. But if we head even upper, we've got this loft area here at the very top. Also had space for extra storage up here, my workstation blocks, a bed of course, and some beautiful views. Now if we drop back down behind the building here, come to this scaffolding, I was lucky enough to end up with 3 cave spider spawners right next to where I built my base. Isn't that crazy? What's even crazier is that I was 1 block shy of having 4 spider spawners. It was so close. But anywho, let's move on to the other map where the buildings get a bit bigger in scale. So now we're on the map I played with my brother, and I wanted to start with the maps because they give a good visualization of all the work that happened here. So we started off here in this area, built our starter bases, and by the time we got all geared up and ready to go, we went out exploring, and we went over a map, and over a map, and over a map, and over another map, until we got here. And what we were looking for was a mushroom island that more or less looked like this when we first came across it. Then it was painstakingly flattened and replaced with luscious grass. Now that we've shown that off, let's take a look at the otherworldly hourglass storage building that I put together here. So this was right after the Nether update had come out, and I really wanted to build with the new block sets. So I put this together. I used a lot of black stone and the new crimson and warped funguses, as well as implementing some of the shroom lights there as well. And I made these falling pieces of what are supposed to represent particles of sand, but we can check them out on the inside. Coming inside, we've got our incredibly large centerpiece of the another portal. And in between that, you can see that we've got all of our utility blocks here as well. And this chest in the center here is where you would drop off items that you want to put into the storage system. They get dragged over and popped out here where you can watch them go around and around until they get dragged into their rightful home. Also in between here, you can see the particles of sand continue falling. Dragged those all the way down the center here. And there they go. Anyway, if we head up the elevator here, we end up in this area here with our super smelter, as well as our potion making area, and of course, this is where we keep the maps as well. Now, as shown on the map here, the roof of this building I turned into a spiraling galaxy, which I'm pretty proud of that. Man, what a pain that was to build. But if we take off this direction, we end up at my little farm that I put together here. It's another one of my favorite builds. I really liked how this turned out. We've got Lady and Doggo here, keeping watch over the farm. And it looks like we have a bit of a mushroom infestation. I put a little farmer stand out here. These are all the farmers I can trade with. I've got a farmer in each section here. They go around collecting up their food, and then they head into the building there, and behind the door, there's a villager with some hopper mine carts in front of them. Toss the food in, gets dragged underneath, sorted up, and pushed into these barrels. I was really happy to add bees into this area. Added a lot of movement and made the farm feel more alive. And then as far as this wooden structure that kind of goes around the inside, I was going to add some leaves to it, treat it more like a structure intended for vines that grows around, but I ended up deciding against it, and I think it turned out rather well looking anyway, especially with all of these trees surrounding the outside. It kind of gives some floating contrast to the color scheme there. And it also allowed for me a place that I could hang lighting around the different sections. Over here, I have a pit that I collected all of the different rabbits in. Again, I do like trying to collect all the animals whenever I play Minecraft. I always aim to eventually design a zoo of sorts, but have not been able to get around to it yet. So maybe in the Warts and All series, we'll eventually get to something like that. That would be pretty cool. And then if we come over here, this is where I collected all the different villager types. Of course, it's not all fun and games. There was a horrible tragedy that took place at this junction right here. Many lost their lives that day. Their screams still haunt me. What were we doing? Right. Yeah, come check out the clouds that we were building. So the idea that we were going for here was that we were going to build kind of like a cloud city, something like a Mount Olympus or a heaven or whatever you want to call it. There was going to be different areas of the city that were kind of dedicated to the different mythologies. We were going to have like a Greek area, a Norse area. I think we were even going to have like a Columbia from BioShock Infinite. It was going to be sick, but sadly, this is kind of as far as we made it. These aren't even finished products for the clouds either. We were going to have them kind of billow up in a way to give coverage so that you wouldn't even be able to see the city from the views down here. Also wanted to make some storm clouds with like random flashes of lightning and such too. Maybe I'll build like a stormy cloud on the Warts and All map. That would be pretty cool. And this up here was kind of like an impromptu bamboo smelting area for all the damn glass that we were using to make these clouds. But they do look kind of cool from, you know, this angle. I think they look better from this angle than they do from down below, considering They don't look finished from down below. Coming over this direction, this is where I drained an ocean monument and built a castle around a guardian farm here. This was a lot of work. I mean, a lot of freaking work. I don't know if you've ever drained an ocean monument, but it freaking sucks. It's probably my least favorite thing to do in Minecraft, but the payoff is incredible. And what's funny, a little backstory on this is, when do you think I decided to tackle draining this ocean monument? But, of course, directly after draining an ocean monument on a different map. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. This turned out really freaking cool here. And of course, it did not get finished. I was gonna throw some more detailing on here, but it turned out pretty cool for what it is. In the center here, we've got this guardian farm and this beautiful pattern of prismarine and sea lanterns that I have going around the outside. And the idea of what we were going for here was I was going to build a giant fish bowl surrounding this. And then we were going to put, you know, like a bubbling chest and maybe a giant skull over there, stuff that you'd see in an aquarium. I might have to revisit this idea way down the road. It's too cool of an idea to not build at some point. If we come up here, it's got a really cool looking top-down view. Man, this farm cranks them out.
Christ, look at all those freaking guardians.
And then, of course, coming over into the nether side of things, this is where things pop out. You can hear them down there, burning to death. I thought it would be cool to punch through the bedrock here and drop them through for some reason. That was also a lot of work, but I do like how it turned out. And if we head on down below, this was the collection area down here. Tried to integrate the ocean monument kind of feeling with the nether here. I like how these colors contrast with each other. Man, this farm cranks them out though. Look at all that. But that's gonna do it for the old Survival World tours. So I just wanted to give another thanks again to everyone for all the support. It really means a lot. And I have a ton of plans for the Warts and All series and even another challenge for my brother that I want to make a video about. I'll go ahead and end with a shaders time lapse of everything we've seen today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.